Hey there! How's everyone doing today? I hope you're well. DMFF here, as always, and today I'm going to talk about my current favorite competitive game. And that game is called Eternal Return, a mashup of a multiplayer online battle arena, or MOBA, game, and a battle royale game. This game scratches two itches simultaneously, as I have been looking for a replacement for both League of Legends and Realm Royale. League of Legends because I no longer agree with their practices, haven't found the game to be a pleasurable experience in some years. I disagree with the forced kernel level anti-cheat. No, I do not want something from Tencent to have something installed at the kernel level. And Realm Royale because the developers have bungled that game up so much that the concurrent player base is in the 3-digit range, if not less than that. So I have been on the hunt for several years looking for something to replace either one of these games. And Eternal Return is just that game. Somehow in 2020, I did not find that this game released in early access toward the end of the year that year, but I was thankfully able to find it as of this past month. As stated earlier, Eternal Return is a MOBA battle royale, developed by Nimble Neuron and published by Kakao Games. Its official full release date was July 20th of 2023. A player can choose one of the many characters that have already been released into the game, which all fulfill various roles such as tank, healer, DPS, and bruiser. Players will enter queue with 2 other players on their team if queuing solo, but you can absolutely queue with 2 other friends. From there, 8 teams of 3 will compete on a map called Lumia Island, which has 16 distinct areas. Players must collect materials from various containers or slain animals in the area that you are in order to make your starting builds. As the game is a battle royale, slowly over the course of the game, various areas of the map will become restricted areas instead of a traditional closing circle. Killing wildlife or other enemy players will also grant you credits, which can be used at your closest kiosk to purchase rare items. These same rare items, such as Mithril, Meteorite, Force Core, VF Blood Sample, among others, can also drop around the map, or can be dropped by a spawning boss-like mob that you can kill with your teammates. Use these rare items to craft your legendary or even mythic items to become more powerful and try to take the game. The last player or team standing is crowned the victor. Before heading into a game, though, you need to have a build. You can make your own builds for each individual character, or you can copy well-known builds, take some of the legwork out of it. I personally build my own builds, but that is totally up to you. A build consists of what items to craft, as well as setting up your augments, which are similar to the runes and masteries system of League of Legends, choosing a base weapon that is compatible with your character, as each base weapon is going to scale differently and each of them has their own separate abilities. You will also choose an additional ability to have alongside your weapon ability. Both of these abilities are somewhat like summoner spells from League of Legends. And finally, you will set your late game items, such as your legendaries and mythics that you will want to craft, as well as some other utility items, such as telephoto cameras, which act as wards in this game, EMPs, which act a little bit like a scanning device from League of Legends, food for health restoration, somewhat like health pots, and drinks you can craft for mana restoration, all similar to League of Legends. This game is free to play, and does offer microtransactions in the form of skins or various things to bling out your profile, but no money is required to be spent to have a good time with this game. If you're into MOBAs and you're into battle royales, then I would highly recommend giving this game a try. I have found that I have had more fun with this game than I have ever been able to have with League of Legends these past few years. I haven't run into a single toxic person yet, and everybody just wants to work together to win. Sometimes that means buying resources from the kiosk for your teammates who may be struggling. Remember, after you loot around to make your beginning build, group up with your teammates and try to get as many of the fallen rare resources as possible, kill as many of the spawning animal mobs as possible, and try to kill as many of the spawning bosses as possible to get as many of those resources that are rare for free, so then you can spend your resources at the kiosk on other parts of your build. Working together is key to survival in this game, so I highly suggest bringing your best teamwork mentality into the game. I am on the NA server as DMFF, so I hope to see you there. Hopefully as a teammate, or maybe even as an enemy. I just sincerely hope that you check it out, as it is the most fun I have had with a competitive game in a very, very long time. What do you all think? The gameplay of the game has been shown over the entirety of me talking here, and the build page was shown for you as well while I was talking about builds, so hopefully you can have a better grasp of this game. The tutorial may help a little bit. There is definitely a fairly steep learning curve with this game that even I have yet to fully breach. Sure, my decade-long stint with League of Legends and its muscle memory has transferred over quite nicely to this game, but there are still nuances to this game that I have not quite figured out yet, like rotations of all the spawning animals and bosses are, and what my optimal pathing should be. This last bit here is probably, well, it's definitely going to date me. Probably not more so than the Game Boy video I just did, but this game really reminds me of a Warcraft 3 mod that a former friend of mine showed me. This Warcraft 3 mod was not quite like Dota, where it wasn't like lanes or anything like that, but it still kept that same top-down view, click to move, and it was a Dragon Ball Z based MOBA where you had to choose from Piccolo, Goku, Gohan, etc. You started in the Saiyan saga, and depending on who you chose was dependent on where you started your game. In which case you would have to go around and kill mobs and try to get your way to the events that would happen throughout the entirety of the series of Dragon Ball Z. You would play with other players who are attempting to do the same thing as you, but you must try to overcome them and defeat them. If that sounds familiar to you, let me know down in the comment section below, and maybe we can chat about it a little bit. But to me, this game, Eternal Return, reminds me so much of that Warcraft 3 mod that I loved so much. And I just want to spread that joy of fun, healthy competition to the rest of you. I hope you enjoyed today's video about Eternal Return and hope you give it a try. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and do all the things that make the algorithm go burr. And if you want to further support me and my channel, why not head over to Patreon? The link for my Patreon is down in the description, and every little bit helps. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.